Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. I am so excited to be here with you all today. We kicked off We Build Boldly conversations 2 days ago. And I am excited to have our second person with you here. Quick reminder, my name is Bolanle Williams-Olley. In case you're just seeing me for the first time, I am the Chief Financial Officer and co-owner of Mancini Duffy, as well as the author of Build Boldly. And we are having these amazing conversations over the next 2 weeks or so around the 1 year anniversary of Build Boldly's launch. I have a very special guest. In fact, she made time for me today. I am so excited. Glory Edozien is here with me today. Hi, Glory.
Hello, hi. I'm excited to be here.
Yes, guys, look at Glory's name. I went to bring the best of the best, especially for this very topic that we're talking about today. Glory is a LinkedIn visibility coach. Before everybody started getting up on LinkedIn, Glory has been preaching. Actually, she's been preaching visibility um, message for a long time. And I can't wait for us to dig into that. So, really quickly, today we are covering chapter 3 of my book, The Power of Visibility. But
Amazing.
before we go into that, Glory, give us your elevator pitch. What do we need to know about you before we go into the questions?
First of all, Bonale, thank you for inviting me. Super excited. I think it is, in fact, you are literally living boldly, right? Because one of the things I've been wanting to do forever is write a book. So that you're even
Ah,
celebrating the 1 year anniversary of your book, girl, congratulations.
thank you.
My elevator pitch. So I'm just going to be very natural. So my name is Dr. Glory Edozien. I'm a LinkedIn visibility and thought leadership coach. My goal is really, I'm very focused on helping African female executives, especially board ready executives, build visibility and thought leadership globally. And I use LinkedIn as one of the ways to do that. So I'm a LinkedIn top voice. I'm also on the Forbes Global Council of Coaches as well. So yeah. A bit about before I started talking about visibility and LinkedIn, my background was actually in climate change and environmental
Wow.
planning. So yeah, let's just say, girl, it's come a long way.
Yes, yes, incredible. And you know why I like you? Like, I like that you're focused on getting African execs into top positions. But I think even those of us in the diaspora, those of us who are not, on the continent, can learn so much about everything that you share, which is why it was important for me to get you, because you're doing this and doing this work. Guys, like I said, I think I've known Glory now, but my son is 7 years old. I think I've been sharing more than that, more than that. And when I was coming up in my career, I've gotten so many tips from 9 to 5 Chick, which is one of her platforms that she hasn't mentioned, but we'll talk a little bit about. And then all the work that she's been doing around making women visible. So I hope you will learn a thing or two today. Okay, so these are meant to be very quick conversations, leaving you wanting more. So you need to make sure you're following Glory. Glory will tell us how to connect with her at the end. But they're meant to, be very quick. It's like lunchtime, right before lunch conversation. So, well, you might be listening to this at any other time. So, quick 30 minutes for us to delve into the topic. All right. So, question one: how can visibility contribute to career advancement, especially for women? Like, why is it necessary? Why did you make this your niche and purpose?
I think many times, I think when I was younger, the idea was I always saw the world in a linear way. So, go to work, go to school, be sit in front of class, read well, pass and everything. And then when I got to corporate, the world changed. The world it wasn't quite like that. No, it wasn't about how hard I worked, right? Per se. I think at a certain point in my career, working hard just wasn't enough. And I started to notice that the opportunities I got in my career were because certain people were aware of my skill and my value. And also, for some reason, they didn't mind using their social capital to ensure my advancement.
Hmm.
And I've always been somebody who valued networking and relationships. So I think at the back of my head, I'm always somebody that says, if there's a problem, I never think, oh, how can I solve it? I always think, who can help me solve this, right? Especially if it's outside of my domain. So in my career, I started to see how visibility and networking helped me to advance really quickly. So give you a quick example. I remember when I was in the UK doing my PhD, and I just thought to myself, I want a proper job. I want a great job. I don't want to just work like any other immigrant. And because obviously I could only work certain amount of hours, that was very difficult because no company is going to hire you to work part
Yeah.
time. So I went to my supervisor then, and I told him my issue and everything, and he did something really strange. He had this big board up in his office, and he had complimentary cards stuck on it, and he brought out like three and sent emails to three people,
Mhm.
and within a week I had a job, right?
Wow.
And so I started to see how knowing the right people and those people using their social capital, being aware of your skills, being aware of what you want, gets you opportunities. So why do I think it's important for career women? I think it's important for career women because first, I think we've been socialized differently. We've been socialized to think that I'm just going to work very hard, work five
Mhm.
times as hard. And visibility doesn't mean you don't work hard, you just work smarter, right? So I think it's important because many career women have dreams that sometimes they've forgotten about. Sometimes they're just like, okay, this is going to happen. Some people, we are jaded, right? Because we
Mhm.
feel like the system is somehow not working in our favor. So visibility is important for you because it helps you achieve fundamentally your career goals. It helps you to build a career that you love and enjoy. It helps you to showcase your value, to feel rewarded for the great work you do. If you're going to work so hard, then you should be able to command the respect, the reputation, the recognition of the work that you're doing. So that's why visibility is important for women.
I completely love it. A lot of the points that you brought are things that I think has happened for me personally in my career. Um, and in the book, I think like one of the things that I wrote, if when I was early on in my career, also was that, I don't know if I was extremely intentional about being visible, but I made sure I was memorable. Right? I was like, if you're not in a role where you can be out there, make sure you're memorable because your name will be mentioned in the rooms that you're not currently in, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
as you're going in your career, that visibility is just key. It's just key to propelling you, to making sure that opportunities open up for you. I say, my role here, my current role at Mancini was brought to me because of someone I knew, network and relationships I knew 10 years before when I first started out my career. You understand what I mean? Like I was a junior project accountant, but 10 years after, someone was like, oh, she might be a great candidate to run a finance group. Right. So I think earlier in my career, I was memorable. Earlier in my career, maybe, as I was going, people started noticing me. I was being visible. And so opportunities opened up for me. So I 100% agree with what you said. Yeah. So, how has reshaping your personal brand and gaining visibility propelled your own career? Because I know when you started, you know, I think I've always just supported you because whether or not you had 100 people or 10 people or one person, like you kept going. I noticed your pivots. I noticed the changes that you made. I noticed how when you even doubled down. Don't worry, we are watching. We're watching. I noticed when you doubled down, when you got really clear on your message. I noticed your vulnerability. So, how has reshaping your own personal brand and gaining visibility around the work you do helped your career?
So, today I had an emotional moment today. So I went to the Wimbiz conference. So Wimbiz here in Nigeria is one of the, if not the biggest, women conferences in Africa, right? And you have about upwards of 3,000 attendees physically and about maybe another 2,000 online, like hybrid and all of that. And I went for the event and I saw my logo on the backdrop, right? And I just thought, my goodness, how far I have come from being an attendee at these conferences, looking up at these women leaders and saying, one day I'm going to sit here. And, I've met now many. Hear me? I feel like my internet is fluctuating
Yeah,
a
your
bit.
internet, it's a little shaky,
Okay.
but
All right.
we'll power through. We'll
Okay,
power
we'll power
through.
through it. If it gets too bad, I might swap um service providers. But let's keep
Okay.
going. Yeah. So yeah, and so I was just thinking about that. So this is a really, really timely question. I think how it has helped me is helped me become, I think, well, not I think, I know it's helped me become an authority and an influencer in my space. So, funny thing happened again. Oh, on Saturday, in my family group, my cousin wrote, Glory, they said one CEO is looking for you. They approached my husband, say, how would you know this Glory Edozien? We are looking for her. She just come and do our LinkedIn. This, that. She just, everybody in the family was now congratulating me because they too knew I started. So, it has, building my personal brand has helped me become known for the things that I'm interested in doing. It's helped me to build, double down on building my mastery. It's
Mhm.
helped me to attract clients, but it's helped me to give my value. I think this is why visibility is so important to me. Is that for a very, very long time, Bolanle, if you can believe it, I actually didn't feel I was very skilled or
Hmm.
knowledgeable, and I wasn't a very confident person.
Hmm.
So this to see this woman that is doing all of these things now, it's my journey of, because I think visibility is two things. It's an internal process, very
Hmm.
much an internal journey before it becomes an outward journey. So I've done all of that internal journey, and now to, like I said, Forbes Council, I became a LinkedIn top voice this year. I've won awards and been nominated for multiple awards. But fundamentally, I've been able to impact lives,
Yep.
right? So there are women who have gone on my programs, and they are now mentioned on global platforms. One of my coaches was on CNN. It's so fulfilling. That, I think, I think that's it. Building visibility and my personal brand has helped me to become fulfilled. I'm living a fulfilled career life.
I love it. I love it. And I see the feedback that you share, on your platform from all different execs, especially one. And maybe I just want to spend a little bit of time focusing on, your niche, which is African execs, right? So culturally, there's even a difference in terms of, like you said, maybe just doing heads down work, which a lot of women do experience across the globe. But there's something in our culture that's just like, don't speak up too much, or don't talk about, don't talk about the facts, because that's what I say when people say, oh, how is it that you're able to talk about the things that you've done? I'm like, because it's facts. Like, it's not, there's no no there's no disputing the things that you've accomplished. Yes, maybe, imposter syndrome might come and face you at some point in time, but no, all these things that we have accomplished are facts. So I love to see how you empower not just women in Africa, but those of us all globally, to sit and own, to own these things that we've accomplished. You're giving us agency to be able to speak about it freely and confidently. So I love it. And I love that, despite all the accolades, you've been able to find fulfillment in this career path, unique career path, guys. Remember, that's what Bill Boldly is about, charting your own unique career path. And for me, Glory is like the pure definition of it, because she navigated, she found a way, and she's now found this unique career path for herself, and she's leading us all, leading her coachees with so much courage. So I just want to take a moment just to give you your flowers for
Oh, I
that.
love my flowers.
Yes, I'm giving you your flowers for that.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
of course, of course. So in the book, right, I talk about using visibility to drive major change, and using it also to uplift others in the workplace, within your workplace. And, inspired by Glory Academy, 9 to 5 check are extremely valuable resources for women to advance their careers. What motivates you? I mean, you've kind of given us a little hint, but
Mm,
maybe just give us one
mm.
or two practical tips, right? What motivates you to use your knowledge and resources to help us build our own platforms?
So I think, like you said, I kind of alluded to it earlier. So I was somebody. I think it's almost 20 years now, or about 15 years, I suffered a major blow in life and contemplated one of the things was about feeling like I wasn't good enough, and actually almost took my own life, right? And
Wow.
in the repair of that process, I realized, that I didn't feel valued and I didn't feel seen, right? And coming out of that, I never want another woman to feel that way, because I realized I'm just like, if if I had all of, because fundamentally, right, I didn't go to school to learn about disability. Obviously, I've done certifications and a few courses here and there, but like intrinsically rather, the things that I talk about are from my practical experience.
Mhm.
So I really believe that this is an opportunity that has been gifted to me, given to me. And everyone has those things that have been given to them, those skills, those unique values, but we don't see it.
Mhm.
We are so busy comparing ourselves to others, or blindsided by work, or just, feeling inadequate, imposter syndrome, all these things. And we don't understand that hidden in us, in each and every one of us, is the ability to solve the world's problems.
Hmm.
I always say this: hidden in you are the treasures of the world. It is up to you to find out how to excavate that treasure and use it. Right. So I think that is what propels me. When I'm speaking to a woman and she tells me, oh, I don't feel this and everything, I'm just like, I want to take her home, shake her. I'm just like, come, let's go, let's do this. I think that's what motivates me. Going on LinkedIn and seeing my clients shining. I feel fundamentally that's what motivates me. I think secondly, another thing that motivates me is, I think in Africa, we tend to have, and even Africans in diaspora might face this, we tend to have an importation culture where we are constantly importing. So, what are the best books to read on career? I'm looking at the New York Times best list. I'm looking at this, looking at that, and I'm just like, no, I want to see Africans on those lists, right? Because my experience, yes, exactly, exactly. Because I'm thinking, the woman who is now, CEO of Microsoft in Nigeria, I want to hear about her
Yeah.
experiences. I want to know
Yeah.
about those things. And I think it is high time. I was at Women's Dance, and this lady said something that was so fantastic. And you've already touched on that as well. It's about, we need to start, the narrative of African women needs to change. We need to start showcasing African women with agency, with power, with influence, women who are able to lead and take decisions. So those are the kind of things that make me wake up at 1:30 in the morning and be like,
Mhm.
how do we get this done?
Yeah.
Right? So yeah. So those are the things that motivate me.
Okay, so and then I'm going to ask a second fold question on that, right? So
Oh,
now you've shared with us your motivation. What are some, maybe like, give us, like, if we're not signing up for your course yet or signing up
mhm,
for one of your programs, give us like at base two
mhm.
tips, right? Like I'm now here, I'm tuned in, I'm listening in, and I'm like, okay, I want to take the first step to becoming visible. Like, give us some practical tips that I can now use to begin this visibility journey.
Okay, so I think the first thing is, what's your visibility why? So I'll tell a story really quickly, because I know obviously we have a time limit. But I remember when I moved back to Nigeria, and I was working in an environmental management company, and I really wanted to get into the climate change space, right? And work on climate change policy. And I just saw where I was and where I wanted to go. It was like a bridge over troubled water. Like
Hmm.
it was a
Hmm.
long journey. So I started to think about who could help me, who can help me achieve my goals, right? And I started going for conferences,
Hmm.
networking events. And when I would go there, I would find people and I would introduce myself to them. Oh, hello, my name is Glory Edozien. This is what I do. These are the kind of opportunities I'm looking for. And within about 18 months, I got an email from one of my contacts who gave me an opportunity that literally changed my life. It was the most money
Wow.
I'd ever earned in my entire life in one short space of time,
Hmm.
right? But it wasn't just the money, it was that I could now call myself a climate change consultant, right?
Hmm.
So again, career fulfillment. Now, what are the things that we can learn from that story? Number one is, what do you want to achieve? I think
Hmm.
it will shock. It's such a simple question. It will shock you how many people are unclear about this. And I think understanding your visibility why is the only thing that will keep you going on this journey. Because sometimes I'll go to this conference, I'll see somebody who I've seen 3 times, I'll introduce myself, he'll be looking at me, I'm like, but I met you like 2 weeks ago, but you can't remember. And you're dealing with all of that. Is it that I'm not good enough? Is it that I'm not memorable? All of that. But I kept going, right? So the first thing is know your why. The next thing after knowing your why, who can help me achieve my goals? Where are they? Where are they? Go where. So I always tell people when you're networking, if you forget anything about networking, remember these two things. Go where the people who have achieved the things that you want to achieve go. That is a fundamental networking rule, right? The people who have achieved the things you want to achieve, people that can help you achieve your goals, go where they go, right? Start going to those places. When you go there, don't be a wallflower. Show up. Introduce yourself. Converse with people, talk to the person on your left, talk to the person on your right, connect with the speakers, all of that. But don't just introduce yourself. My name is Glory, I'm a LinkedIn coach. No, talk about the problem you solve, who you solve it for, and your results, right? So in this time, as an example, I would say things like, I worked at the Environment Agency on, UK climate change policy and urban planning policies. Now that I'm back in Nigeria, I'm looking for opportunities where I can help Nigeria meet its international obligations, climate change obligations. So that language is not I'm looking for a job. It's I'm looking for value who wants to add value at this level. And at this level. So you have to understand how you show up, right? So when you go to places, you show up. Find other ways to show up, but publish articles, be on a platform like LinkedIn, right? Make sure that when we go on your LinkedIn profile, there is no doubt that you're a leader in your space. And it's all about language. You need to articulate your brand, right? And I always tell people when you're building, I know you asked me for two, but
No. This is your jam. So don't even forget the number I said.
Okay.
Forget it. This
Like,
is
I hope
the
I'm
core
not
of
talking.
why we are here. So please share it.
Okay, fantastic. So when you're on LinkedIn, it's you. I always tell people you don't create a LinkedIn profile for the opportunity you already have, but for the opportunities you want, right? So what do you? If you're currently right now, maybe you are, maybe you manage a portfolio of products, and your next goal is you want to become a regional project manager or something, right? What are the skills that a regional project manager should have that you already have? That is the language you use to communicate your brand, right? You will always want to be pitching yourself for that next position. You always want to think the person that needs me now, that can help me achieve my goals, what are the skills they are looking for? Do I have them already? Let me start projecting it. The ones I don't have, let me go and get it, right? So you get your profile right. Then you'll make sure you're networking correctly, and then your content. I did a live yesterday, and I was telling people you need to demonstrate mastery by solving problems, right? This is how you build visibility. And the only way you can do that is understand who you want to help, who you can help. How do the skills you have solve their problems, and write about it. It sounds simple, but the doing can be a bit tough. But that
Yeah.
is fundamentally it, right? Demonstrate mastery. Because thought leadership, personal brand visibility, the goal of it is to build influence. And influence is about trust and about demonstrating mastery, right? If people are going to make business decisions, financial decisions, whatever career decisions on your advice, they need to trust you, right? And they need to know about you. So you need to start communicating, showcasing your mastery on LinkedIn and on other platforms as well.
I love this all. I love this all. I wanna take what you just said and maybe just go a step back. Like let's say you are one, maybe not looking to leave your current position, but everything that you shared is also
Mhm.
what would allow you advance within your organization, right? It's finding ways to share that information. Maybe it's not on LinkedIn, but within your organization, making sure that the right people are seeing,
Of course.
are understanding that they can trust you, are seeing the impact of your work. You are finding ways to either maybe document it, right? Especially when it comes to review season or like having this conversation with your managers, having it documented so that there is proof, right? There is proof of all these incredible things that you've been doing. So I love it all. I also love what you said about um, positioning yourself for where you want to go. I think in my career, that's one of the themes that has sort of shown up, right? I have just never just worked the role that I'm at. And I think that's what opened the doors for me to become CFO, right? So when I was a financial controller, I was already working at a CFO level where, now my now partner was like, you know what, enough of this. We need to like give you the right title because this is the work that you have been doing over the last year. So everything, I'm a testament to everything, or I'm living proof to everything that Dr. Glory has been sharing with us.
Yeah, I mean, if I can just touch on that internal visibility portion, I think that the mistake a lot of people make when they're building visibility internally is they're, again, very linear with their approach, right? So you need to think, who are my core stakeholders, right? So sometimes the stakeholders for your career, you may not have direct reporting lines to them, but they are in the room when those conversations about your career are being made, like internally. So one of the things that I found that was very useful when I was working, so for example, I reported directly into the CEO in my last 9 to 5 job, but the CFO and the chief legal officer as well, where I didn't really have to report to them, but obviously they had saying power on my advancement. One of the things I quickly realized with them was the things that mattered to my CEO were not the things that mattered to my CFO and not the things that mattered to my CLO. And I needed to learn to communicate that language to them. And I needed to find ways to build those communication lines with them. And I think it is so sometimes you're only looking at, and if you wait until promotion time, appraisal time to bring out your chest of documents,
Yeah.
and I will say you're on a long thing.
Yep.
So my advice is to understand what is important, map out your stakeholders, understand what is important to them, and how you're going to build communication lines to them to have that conversation.
Incredible, incredible. Okay, so I have like just two more questions. I think we're doing absolutely great on time. I hope you guys are enjoying the conversation. So recap, if you're just joining us, this is the We Build Boldly conversations in celebration of Build Boldly, my book, Turning One. We are discussing the power of visibility with Dr. Glory Edozien. We've had such a wonderful conversation. You need to go back and listen to this from the start if you're just joining us. So the next question, in an interview that you had with The Guardian, you spoke about women being over-mentored and under-sponsored, in which mentorship gives advice, but sponsorship actually opens doors for women. How can current leaders, so now you're speaking to myself, other leaders in the room, how can we really make space for women to enter leadership? And I'll give you an example. In my industry, in the architecture and interior design industry, when you look at leadership across maybe like the top 50 firms, leadership is very white and older male. I say that I'm a unicorn, right? I became CFO young at 32. I am thankful for the doors that were opened up for me, and also being a co-owner of my company. That is a huge accomplishment for an immigrant who moved to the US 20 years ago, and that's because someone made space for me. But now that I'm currently in leadership, there are other people in leadership. What would you say to firms in terms of sponsoring women into positions of leadership?
So I think it's all about intentionality, right? So for organizations, you're intentional about your business strategies, about your profitability. Can we build some intentionality about advancing women into leadership positions? Like I was saying earlier, I was at WIMBIZ and P&G. One of the directors at P&G was there, and she was sharing what they are doing to advance women into leadership. And one of the important things for an organization when it's talking about being really serious about advancing women to leadership is making sure that you're building that pipeline of talent. And it's difficult for women, especially women who are entering the workforce or in middle management, who are beginning to have families, because this is where they begin to drop off. So it's about being intentional and creating strategies that allow women to thrive even during those early seasons, especially of building families. So, for example, they were saying at P&G, they had done things around paternity leave, extended maternity leave, even doing things as, paying for, if you in your first year of being a mom, if you have to be put on international assignment or travel, actually paying for a nanny, so paying for child support.
That's
to
incredible.
accompany the woman. Look, when I heard it, I was like, Having nursing rooms at work, but also when women come back from maternity leave, they don't just put her in one position, like, okay, just, be coasting. They actually put them into thriving roles so that they can ramp up, right? So it's all about that intentional strategy. So that's on one hand. On the other hand, I think it's while you're building the strategies, you also need to build in sponsorship programs, right? So sometimes it can be very difficult. It's easy for women to mentor women. It can be very difficult, but if you're in an organization that is top male and you don't have female, mentors to reach out, how do you do that? How do you
Yeah.
even believe it's even possible, right? So again, it's with intentionality, creating programs that allow these types of bilateral sponsorship and everything, ensuring that women have access, visibility channels to talk about, that the work that they are doing, to also reach out, also a culture of leaning and help, that women can actually reach out when they're struggling and share without feeling like, they have to hide this, so they're not penalized. Or if I complain today about this, they probably won't put me on another assignment and things like that, and then they are put in a situation where they fail. So it's all about understanding what are the challenges that prevent women from, advancing along this our pipeline of talent, and then removing those challenges. And these are some of the ways.
Oh, again, incredible. And I keep nodding my head because I think like that is part of the things that I asked in my interview coming to Mancini. I said, how are we going to set me up for success? I was like, forget about the work, you know? I said, forget about the work. Listen, this is the current season I am in my life. I have two little kids. I think my daughter was 4, my son was 2. There was going to be I was moving from project level finances to firm wide level finances. I was like, we have to make sure that I am set up for success. I will do what is needed, but what are you as a company going to do to help me get there? I'm an A player. How are we going to get me to A plus plus? Don't worry, but like let's put the pillars in place, and I think that for me, that is why visibility, being in the position I am, is very important, because there's certain things you shared. One, I need other women, other Black women, to be able to see someone in a C-suite position, in an ownership level position, and know that finding that path for themselves is possible. Right. So that's why I feel like me speaking about it, me writing the book, was more so for other women to see that it's possible. And then it's also for me to keep on making ways, creating opportunity, keep on creating access, keep on holding conversations like this, so that people who are either thinking about it, the light bulb goes off in their head, they begin to strategize ways in their own industries, right? They might not be in my industry, but how can I make it possible for myself in my own industry, knowing the goals that I have? So everything that you shared, I 100% resonate with, and I'm so, so, so appreciative of you crafting out this time again to be with us, Glory. This one is a fun question. It's a fun question, and then we'll
Can I
wrap
just
up for
add
today.
something to that on the
Yes,
leadership?
please.
So
Yeah.
I was going to say another thing. So we've talked about the structural requirements, and I agree that there's a lot of work to be done in that area. But I also think that women we need to start creating our own tables, right?
Yep.
Bringing our own chairs and all of that. And how do you do that? When I was starting my business, I wasn't quite sure about what I wanted to do or how I wanted to do it. And what I started doing was looking for female leaders and interviewing them, right? And I think if you cannot see, because what happens if you're in a company where it's top male management, and maybe they're paying lip service or not really aware of the importance of advancing female talent, what are you going to do about it, right? You need to build your own board of advisors. You need to
That's
build
right.
your own heroes, right? So I think as well as we're encouraging organizations to make these structural changes, we also have to encourage women to even be part of it. Like, I mean, you said something
Yes.
so instrumental about asking for that help, right?
Yep.
So if you can't ask in your company, who are you going to ask outside of your company, right? We need to start saying, what do I need to be set up for success, and having the courage to pursue those options.
Yes. 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 I agree. Okay. All right. So Oh yes, my fun question. I didn't want to forget. So finish this sentence for me.
Okay.
Or two sentences. Two sentences. Um, the power of visibility means
Oh gosh. The power of visibility means finding yourself.
perfect. And Dr. Glory is building boldly when she is
Hmm. Dr. Glory, that's a tough one. Dr. Glory is building boldly when she's centered. Yeah.
period.
Yeah.
I love both of them. Glory, thank you so much. Please tell folks where we can connect with you, how we can work with you, because I know there are lots of folks who are going to listen to this and are just absolutely going to want to continue conversating with you. So please share with us.
Fantastic. And thank you for the opportunity again. So you can connect with me on LinkedIn. It's just put in my name, Glory Edozien, into the LinkedIn search, and my profile will come up. You can follow me, send me a connection request, and just tell me you watched me here, and we can get talking. Also, you can email me directly on glory@inspiredbyglory.com. That's glory@inspiredbyglory.com. You can follow me again on Instagram on @inspired by glory. So I have a range of LinkedIn visibility products. If you'd like to hear about them, you just shoot us an email and somebody on my team will get back to you.
I love it. Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Thank you. We still have a lot to come on this series that I'm doing. We Build Boldly. There is another one tomorrow. Tomorrow is actually the anniversary. So it's going to be an amazing day. Buy a book. Leave me a review after you've read it. I appreciate it. If you're a company like and you want to buy many, please reach out to me. I'm just so stoked to have had you today. Thank you so
Amazing.
much, guys. Please
Amazing.
share this with your friends, your colleagues. It is such great information that we've talked about today, and excited to continue. Thank you so much.
All right. All right. Thank you for
Bye,
having me.
everyone. Of
Bye.
course.
Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye.